Hello, everyone. Welcome. M21 crushed the voting today, and I told everybody at the start of voting that if M21 won, we would, in fact, do a traditional. We don't get a lot of best of three around here because only one format at a time even has best of three. And happy to do that here. I do think M21 is better as a best of three format. I've said this before, but to repeat myself, when a format has multiple aggro decks that need to be considered, and also multiple long game combo attrition win on turn 15 type games, it helps to have best of three because that's such a huge difference in deck style within the same format that being able to adjust your deck to respond to the extremes of what your opponent might be up to are very important here. And if you want to respond to what your opponents are up to across the kitchen table in your next commander game, and you're so tired of them playing that darn spell and it doing the thing, think to yourself, what is the best foil to that? I'm going to start playing against that, and you can acquire whatever you've come up with to defend against at my sponsor, cardkingdom.com. I want you to check them out via my affiliate link in the panels below, or in the notes of my YouTube video, or in streaming in chat right now. Thank you, Hat. And if you check out Card Kingdom via my link, it lets them know you got there from here and helps keep me on the air and keeps everybody happy. Card Kingdom happy with what I'm doing, me happy that they're supporting me, and you happy that you're getting cards from truly one of the better retailers in the Magicverse here. So I love Card Kingdom and recommend them wholeheartedly. Please check them out on my behalf. And let's jump in for some gems here and hop to the draft view. Now, this is best of three, so this could mean we're here for a while, although it looks like this is unusual. We're actually the tail end here of filling up the table. That's nice. So we'll probably get this going pretty soon here. Help me remember what the heck's going on in M21. The fun police are present. Red is very strong. Aggro red decks, whether they are red, white, or I like Naya aggro in general. That's right. And blue-black control can do some stuff, but 2-drops, yes. Cthulhu calling out. Make sure you're on board by 2. You don't want to get run over. You can do long game stuff, but you got to have defensive speed. You can't get run over by doggies in the format. So let's see what the cards tell us to do, though. Yeah, I have not been in red-blue spells much in the format. I think it's one of the better decks. I just feel like, for whatever reason, I don't end up there much. Well, I know where we're starting. This is, I think we have 3 Ugins on the account, so not only do we get a great place to start, we get some nice collection building. And a great place to start for pack 1, pick 1, 2. Now, I kind of see Ugin as a green card, honestly. You can think to yourself, sweet, we got Ugin, a nice colorless start. Not really. Ugin's green. Ugin wants Llanowar Visionaries and cultivates and, all the other stuff, all the ramp that is most prevalent in green. I want to note what we're passing quality-wise. Unfortunately, a couple of great green cards we are passing in Brontodon and Visionary. Dragonfire is a top common, maybe the top common. The mirror is uncommon. If we can find a couple of mirrors, we don't have to be green. But I think of this as leaning green. Yeah, Razor. I'm not saying this is literally a green card, but you know what I mean. It's at its best when it's in when it's got good green. Now you don't want to force it if it's not there, but I do believe that it's at its best when you're supporting it with green. Like, are we? This is ramp, but this is not the ramp I was looking for. I think we might even try to even just wheel this, although I don't think this wheels. It is good enough that way, but we could just take a Shacklegeist as a perfectly fine 2/2 flyer. And there's nothing else really here. There's Chorister. I like the Chorister. Snare Spinner, Hobble Fiend. We talk about 2 drops, but if we're going to start on a 2, let's just... oh, this is a high... It's not really a very good defender. If we talk about wanting to be on board with defensive speed, this is not defensive speed, right? Skimmer being an interesting decision. I think I'm always going to lean to the cheaper option, and I will just take the Shacklegeist, even though it's not a defensive speed card, unless your opponent happens to be in the air. Here, Shock leaps out at me as the best the pack has to offer. Magmut is interesting. I like Training. I like Fetid Imp as playables. I've been underwhelmed by Freebooter in the format, and in general underwhelmed by Black. And Warmonger, more just a 3/3 for 3 in the colors, but sometimes you can do the thing. I don't know, not much. I haven't been in red black too much. Shock pretty easy here though. Hey Haj, yeah, I kicked off the song a little earlier, the stream itself a little earlier. Historically, I usually tried to time the starting song to finish right at 9, but that's kind of slipped over over time. Well, we can keep moving around color-wise and consider a Chorister, which strikes me as a strong card in the pack again. But Kraken is also a decent long game card for blue, and we do have the Shacklegeist, and Ugin is looking to go long. So I am inclined to take the Kraken and continue to look for ways to potentially go to Ugin. Well, also, I think Ugin is a bomb, but it's a build-around bomb. Like, let's call this a build-around A. I would call Ugin... Well, I don't even think we have a plan yet, Razor. If the plan is Ugin, then certainly Chorister is not supporting that plan, but I don't even know if our plan is Ugin yet. Because if you... Yeah, 8 mana post, but no, that's what I talk about defensive speed. It's not that you can't play 8 drops. It's that you need to have the answer of what you're doing to stop the bum rush. So you just got to make sure you're answering that question, and then you can play it, and it can be good. Now there's Rugged Highlands for some mana. Pride Malkin if we do want to really try to squeeze into green here somehow for the ramp, but. Again, we can just not play Ugin if the deck doesn't come together that way. We'd even take a Larcenist here and just support the blue we have. I think Larcenist is okay. And yeah, we can, if we end up, like if we don't end up green, but we still want to play Ugin, then we kind of definitely want to be blue, right? We want to get defensive, get attrition-y, draw some cards, go long, and then drop the Ugin. On that front, we can take a Finishing Blow. Probably just a Sky Scanner, though, although Finishing Blow, you know, this is probably the card that fell the most for people over the course of the format. Like, the 5-mana removal, too clunky when you have to deal with Staunch Shield Mates that got 2 counters on them, you know? But yeah, I'm looking at the cute Sky Scanner here. It survives Ugin for what that's worth, but it's not really a factor in the pick. I think it's just that it's a reasonable take here. But so would the Finishing Blow. I think I will take Sky Scanner though. Finishing Blow is very whatever. It's not assigned to me. If it was like the -4/-4, I'd be more inclined to look at that as a signal. Hireling, Frantic Inventory. I've never had enough of these to make it work, but maybe I take an inventory here and try to make that work. I think I like continuing to support the blue over like a Truffle Snout. Now, the card that matches what we're doing most so far, of course, is the Arcanist, but we can justify a Cur here, or even a Lurker. Lurker, if we backdoor into some Reanimation, would be fine. Blue, black, Lurker Reanimation. Cur, Not really doing what the blue is trying to do in this deck, though, right? Yeah, maybe I should just fall back on the a little more obvious. I just wanted to explore the non-blue options, but really with frantic inventory, and we can start prioritizing other instants and sorceries for that. Brian is passing to me. Interesting. Yeah, I have not been loving the wall, but also this is a great card to pick up late for the best of 3 scenario. Because if we can not run this, fine. But it's really nice to bring in if it's going to do some work. Kerr is a better card, but we are pretty blue, so I'm just going to keep on the blue plan, right? So here we go. We've got a Steward, Mind Rot. I don't like any of this. Wisconsin Crab. We could take a Crypt in case we decide to hate a reanimation deck. But yeah, Crab is playable. Cancel. Just keep taking the blue. Crab people. Crash through in case the red-blue spells matter is the thing. I don't think we're a Frost Breath deck at this point. But I've actually been a little more impressed with this than I've been in most formats. Like this has gone from unplayable to, oh, I actually can do some things in this format, which is very much an upgrade. Take an Epitaph Golem for the board in case we face Mill. Like we can fight against a tutelage with Epitaph. And I don't think we're burning bright here. Let's take a Sentinel. It survives the Ugin if that matters. You like it as a pseudo fog? You've had more card draw. Hey, look, another mythic for us. We've kind of been resisting a second color, but maybe now we found it and we just take Massacre Worm and look to do some reanimation potentially. But this is a reason to be black. Oh, and then we get a Demonic Embrace. This is more aggro. Do we want Demonic Embrace or Waker? Wow. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I don't know that worked. It's a close one. These are both extremely powerful, rare level power cards. So, like, forget the mana symbol and think about what we really want to do. I'm torn. I kind of liked the Embrace more, but I'll go with chat. We can take the Waker. Scanner here, I like as almost not quite ramp, but it helps us hit our land drops. We'll take the Scanner over Village Rites or Lofty Denial. Yeah, but Waker's not a high cost card. It only costs 2 mana. Until it doesn't. And then you're happy about that. I might want to take Visionary here. If the Massacre Worm doesn't play, we can fall back on a green plan. The safe pick is a Singer or a Corpse if we really just want to make sure we're doing stuff at 2 or staying blue. But I think hedging Visionary, giving up only a Singer is okay here. Yeah, if the Shrine Wheels, we'll consider that. I've been, as I said, unimpressed with the Freebooter, but if we do end up black, I would run it in the 2 spot. Hexproof is whatever here. We kind of have, we have Kraken, Worm, and Waker going on at the 6. So I don't think this is super important. Azusa could be a gem pick, honestly, or a card, collection builder. What's it? Alt? We have 3 of 4 of Azuzas, so Azusa would help us get our 4X. Actually, the opportunity cost is such here that I'm going to do that. I don't do it much on this account anymore, but it's kind of one of the things I'm looking to do here is fill out the 4X, so why not? Devotee is interesting. Not a lot of ways to just create the tokens we want. Herschel likes the finishing blow. We definitely want a finishing blow or two in this type of deck, but I think the Devotee is the harder to come by card. I'm going to take Devotee. I just want 0 to 2 finishing blows in the deck will be fine, depending on what else we get to control with. Here, I'll take another Frantic Inventory, see if we can get to density here. I hit Alt. If you hold down the Alt key, it shows you where you're at on stuff. So we'll take a Rise again here, obviously. Is this playable? This is the kind of thing that can work with a Devotee. And it can sack some Sky Scanners for extra value, right? We don't really care too much about these. Glutton is called. I don't think we like Glutton, but it might be enough for this deck for what it's doing. I'll take a Village Rites over another Wall. Mind Rot for the board. Jungle Hollow for splash potential. But I think we just want a Blackguard. Why don't we want the flash 2-power 2-drop of those? That's what I would... Of those 3 medium creatures, that's the one I like best. Another Glutton that we hope not to play. And we also have Frantic Inventory, so... Although these are... I know what you mean by with the counterspell thing. Yeah, we'll take that for the board. Alright, this is a very medium deck so far, but let's see what Pack 3 brings. Well, we've got meme value here in Carrion Grub. It also helps do the thing. We've got Protege and a Visionary, but I think we're off the green plan here. And we might not be, because we could not hard cast the Massacre Worm and just try to reanimate it, and take a Fabled Passage. What are you taking instead, Haj? I just don't know what the pack offers, if not that. I mean... Yeah, we can take Fabled Passage and see if we can wheel the grub. I don't think other people are really going to want it. We've got Grasp or Roaming Ghostlight. Probably just the hard removal here over Ghostlight. Helps with that defensive speed thing. I don't think Milling Ugin is disastrous. It's just we got to win with our Massacre Worm or whatever. Tide Skimmer. We do have like Shacklegeist and a couple of Sky Scanners that can get us Tide Skimmer going on 4, possibly. There is what? There's Tavern Swindler to add to our 2s, but I don't think we need to pick up a weak 2 here. That doesn't really do our thing. I look at the sky scanner, but I think a tide skimmer here makes some sense. How are we doing at 4? Yeah, there's not much going on at 4 either. This is a fine curve slot, and we actually have some of the synergy. Maybe that scanner wheels. We've seen people be pretty uninterested in the scanner. Backwater, of course, is right in our colors, but here we now have a lofty denial opportunity and a carrion grub opportunity. This is a little bit better of a place to pick up a carrion grub, although I kind of want that lofty denial. Yeah, there's a Thallid as well. Just, again, some defensive speed. I was looking at our combo, a more combo piece, but I'm in for Thallid. Let's do that. Here's a finishing blow we can grab over a protege or a booter or a sower or a tapland. Happy to grab this piece of removal here. It's about where I want it. This might even be better. This is probably better than finishing blow at this point in the format. It's a 2-mana removal spell of sorts rather than a 5. So we're going to take that. Rain. I think we want some rain. We don't really have any other card draw, and we're blue. I mean, we have Larcenist, but some pure card draw is kind of exactly what I wanted here. You want a second imp? No, I want some card draw to help us win an attrition battle. I think we can afford a backwater here. Yeah, we've got enough card quality that we can take some fixing. Shore up our ability to cast stuff. And looks like going for the rare draft worked out. I mean, we could take Protege, but I'm going to take Grub. And probably a Walking Corpse #1 over Village Rites #2 here. Sower. I don't know if we're actually ever playing Sower. We've got 3 fine reanimation targets already. Maybe just even want another Wall of Runes in case of hyper aggro. And the other Carrion Grub came back too, so we've got some stuff. Now, is there any, nah, we're never playing a Llanowar Visionary, so we'll take the Gloom Sower, but really not need it here. And another wall that we don't need main. Imp, last pick. Yes, please. 40 on the grind even. This is traditional, best of 3. I'm gonna get my logging of this event going. Boy, am I behind on my results data, but it's all there. I just need to compile it. M21, we're ending up straight blue-black. We paid 0 gold, 1,500 gems, and just got 40 back. Yeah, 1 rise isn't the best, but whatever. These are all hard castable. It only shaves 1 mana off of 2 of these, and so this is fine. It's just we're just a like maybe we cut a Carrion Grub because we're not actually doing that much reanimation. Are we playing these inventories with only 2 of them? I think not. Although, you know, yeah, probably not. Like with 3, I'd be happy. I don't know if you play 2. 2 seems weak. And with Arcanist, double Imp, Blackguard, Corpse, and Grasp. I'm going to cut the Wall of Runes. I think we have enough defensive speed. And, well, we might want to cut the Grub too, but actually cutting that, yes, it lives through Ugin, but that's not really a reason here. Yeah, Glutton, how many, oh yeah, we're at 18 creatures anyway. Definitely don't need these Gluttons, that's true. Now we're getting into a little bit more of the, all right, I kind of like everything left for what its job is here. What is our least? Cut a scanner. I'm inclined not to cut scanners. They're fine village rights, backup plan, chump to make devotee happen, survive Ugin. You want to cut the crab? Larcenist is too easily replaces itself. This is another one I like. Attack with a Larcenist and village rights it or whatever. So Larcenist and the scanners are all doing things with village rights and in general replaceable. They replace themselves enough that I don't want to do that. Almost might be Shacklegeist. Like this is what is not really doing much for us except blocking some flyers. Oh, that's right. We can't chump to trigger devotee. That is very fair. Thank you for that reminder. Spiky wants to cut land. I would feel you if we had other ramp, but we're going for Ugin, and we don't have like ramp. We just have an intent to go long, so I really don't want to cut any land. Yeah, Geist is working with the skimmer and the scanners, so and the imps, but we have the double imp. All right, I'll cut the corpse. It's like you could also argue just cut a 4, but I think having some mid-range defense here. It's not like we have a ton of 4s. Yeah, it's definitely a better defender. Geist does do some stuff with other stuff we have going, including the Tide Skimmer especially, right? Corpse does get bigger with Devotee. Okay, that kind of makes me want to cut Geist for now. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures that can block on 2 plus a grasp if desperate. All right, I like this, and we've got spirit. Yes, we do. We've got spirit. How about you? Thank you. Soul Ring. We still got spirit. And yeah, given that I'm willing to play a, backwater, of course I'm going to play a passage in a 2-color deck. This is fine to enter tapped if it's getting us what we need. This gives us 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, a 10, 9 mana base in a 2-color deck is wonderful. And this looks good. Yeah, I feel you that it's kind of like Passages kind of makes you have 16.5 lands. But I think with the scanners and the rain and everything, 16.5 lands is a fine place to be. Still keeping. It's slow, but if we can make it to Massacre Worm, we can undo a lot of aggression. Plus, we're never punished, so yeah, you gotta keep that in mind. With Massacre Worm coming, you could make an argument to not bother here, but I'm not going to mess around. We're just trying to get to the late game, and so I'm not going to be cute about being like I'm gonna make sure we massacre them for maximum. I just want to not die. Larcenist into rain should give us something to do on 5 that should let us last until 6. So now I just like want to make sure we resolve the Massacre Worm and consider counter magic. Larcenist. We could attack into theirs, but they have the double block for the trade for scanner for Larcenist, which I don't really want to do. I would rather just rain here and accept that Larcenist is going to get in. I could wait since this is an instant, but we're against blue. I'm just going to resolve while shields are down. Fiddles likes swinging. So you want to trade Larcenist for the Sky Scanner? Nah, not with Massacre Worm coming at this point. Well, how about with this? I am just going to pitch. Well, shoot. This is interesting because, I mean, we could just go for a turn 5 Massacre Worm, but I'd rather go. And this is not really removal colors that puts Massacre Worm in the graveyard is the problem. Yeah. No, it's easy to say ditch a land. The question is it worth getting Massacre Worm out a turn early? And I'm just talking through that because we could drop the Massacre Worm to get it out a turn early, but I'd rather have the chance to cast Massacre Worm twice, even if they handle Massacre Worm with one of the enchantments that leaves it on the... well, that's the thing. If they counter the worm, yes, maybe. Some of it exiles anyway. There's a lot of ways this could go wrong. But we are gonna try. Yeah, you're right. Swift Justice and Legion's Judgment would allow us to recast, but you have to acknowledge there's a lot of removal in blue-white that leaves the Massacre Worm on the table. Oh man, that was actually a very lucky, not lucky, but a good card for them to have played on the Larcenist because now the worm can't kill it. Again, you know, we can send in the Larcenist and it's gonna get eaten by the Watcher. But we don't need juice, though, Herschel. Why do we need juice? We have juice. The argument for not attacking Larcenist is that Massacre Worm is one-sided. So unless they come up with like a 4/4, a 4-power, 3 toughness creature, Larcenist is getting through next as long as we resolve the worm. So I am gonna, we do nothing. We do nothing and give up a card now in hopes that we get multiple cards after Massacre Worm. I don't like doing nothing, but also we can set up some bluffs in terms of having open mana and a lot of cards. But this is actually, see, this is good. So far, this is good anyway. Ideally, Oppo spend some more mana to drop more 2 or less toughness creatures. Cardboard Live is open for me. Someone else tell me if it's work. Anybody else have CBL working? Oh yeah. So Lofty Denial could blow this out and end the game, but it is what it is. We're going to see if they have it, I suppose. They drew it off the Larcenist, clearly. Or, I think. Now we'll play Passage because we want to actually filter these lands out of here. Oh, we have 3 swamps. Never all. All right. It comes down to this. Lofty or no? Hey, Magic, thank you for the host. Appreciate that. One thing about going in knowing what could blow you out is it helps me process it when it happens, right? Like, if Lofty had happened there, I would have been fine. Because it's like, yep, we knew that was a very likely outcome, right? All right, I like the Imp. Something in the air for this Larcenist. Now, if they were on feet, they could have saved something there, probably, right? Unless they were all one, like they could have saved the Watcher. Probably would have saved the Watcher, right? Oh, also, I didn't quite catch where we were at on... Yeah, I got... looks like Cardboard's working for me, so anybody it's not working for should try a refresh. Well, they're trying to draw their way out of it. We've got a great response with Larcenist and Worm. I'm going to offer the Larcenist up for a card here, though. One, 2, plus whatever you see. We have 4 lands left, so we've 13 lands is how many we've seen. Swift response. Well, friend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't get activation on Imp, but we'll just rise again here. Now they can't really attack with the Larcenist unless they have something to do with the Worm. All right. They get the card anyway, so I'm not going to chump here. All it does is save 2 damage. Double Imp looking good in the air against this pair. Enforcer could do some work. Your late cancel. But should hold things pretty well for now. And I am going to again offer the Larcenist. Sky Scanner. Probably can't cast that if we want to keep everything held up here. So let's see. Imp number 2. And then having 2 left for that means, yeah, I'd rather have Cancel up than Sky Scanner. We're playing out the games of a draft we just completed, yes, if that's what you're asking. I think killing both flyers would be great because then the Enforcer can't tap the worm, and we do have Cancel to stop any shenanigans, so hopefully this just works. We'll cancel a feat if they try that. Yeah, maybe forgetting about the worm's ability. Easy to do. Well, I canceled the feat. It all seemed good to me. I don't know what I was I don't understand your line completely, the Gdanmore. Not saying it's not potentially correct, but I was definitely, my heuristic there was cancel anything that stops these imps from killing the attackers. But how long is it an out? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I suppose, okay, as I think it through, as long as one dies, Oppo dies, so we could let that happen because we still had lethal. That's fair. Now that I went with my mental heuristic, which is like the shortcuts we use to save some cycles while decision making, but now that we're in sideboarding and I'm processing it, I see what the Gdanmore was saying. Basically, given that either of those creatures dying killed Oppo, so therefore the feat didn't matter yet. What mattered was something else that might follow to prevent the one of those creatures from dying with the worm in play. So now that we're through it, I see what you're saying. But that's how heuristics and rules of thumb and the shortcuts we use to make it through a game of Magic with our sanity intact can hurt you when you don't see the exceptions. That's like pro level Magic, right? Is having internalized all of the heuristics that are good baseline heuristics, but really solidly seeing all of the times that you need to do something different than the heuristic would normally have you do. Yeah, let's see. With all those flyers, we do like a Shacklegeist in. Do we want to pull like a Crab? I think Crab is less important. I still want all the early stuff. And then Crab is what looked to me like it wasn't doing all that much for us here. I'm going to try this. It's not very defensive. and we want our 2-drops to be defensive. It's only defensive against flyers, but now that we're up against flyers, we can play it because we're happy to have that defense. And having an aggro 2-drop is very whatever for us. It's not really our plan. Our plan isn't to dump a 2-drop aggro card on the table and just get there in 10 swings, you know? We can keep this though. I go Geist here, and we can consider the block. They have a kind of a free attack. Feat of Resistance makes me not want to block here. So I'm going to give them 1 if they want to attack. Well, now it's not even a trade, so now we just don't block. Razor blocks, interesting. I don't block when we have, if we draw a swamp, we would have Imp plus hold Village Rites or Imp activation up, and I would rather block and try to find a bounce off block when I have Village Rites available. That's true. I could have gone Imp, and then we have all of that for next turn. I wouldn't have to draw the swamp. I was thinking ahead to cancel, though, as being my likely turn 3, but yeah, I could have gone Imp into Shackle. But my other feeling was that, yeah, and actually this could have done the bounce off block, too. So now we have an option of Larcenist or Imp. I'm going to go Larcenist. If they come at us with aggro back, we still have, we can crack in for the card. If they don't come up with blocks, if Larcenist can just get in, that's quite good. No, I wouldn't want to trade Shacklegeist for the feat. I would rather trade for the feat when I have Village Rites. Yeah, we could go Imp again, but no, I think I want the Larcenist down. I want to get the sure extra draw, and then we can go attack with Larcenist, sack it to Village Rites if we're absolutely desperate. See, this is actually okay. We're taking some hits, but we do have a clean attack with Larcenist, and now we do have the Swamp available. I'm going to play the Swamp so we have both Cancel and Village Rites up while attacking. Now we have to go Imp. I can't leave, we could say, oh, you just hold up Cancel and Village Rites, but then if they don't do anything, we just take a big smack. We got to at least put the Imp down, threatening to just naturally trade with the Charger even. Note the pause there, and the lack of a counter suggesting probably feat. Oh, okay, swift response. We're cool with that. Do we want to Village Rites it? I'm going to say no. I want to let that happen and keep the threat of activation of Imp. No, I like single Imp, threaten Imp, and have Village Rites. And now we get this... don't even need to activate it block on the Charger, and if it works, great. If they have something, we have Village Rites back up. We will accept this. Have to accept that. Shacklegeist can threaten blocks in the air, so we'll stay back and block with Geist, and hopefully just add an Imp to the table. Massacre Worm, hoping to bail us out the turn after that. We still want to draw lands, so I'm going to hold the passage, although we may want, let's see. I'm going to play passage because it'll get us a third black source to support both activation imp and village rights. So we're going to play the passage now, even though I would like to draw more than just 6 land. But we can play out the imp and be in a pretty good defensive spot here. I know we need 3 black for the worm. I just wasn't processing that we needed it also for this turn. So yeah, I got there. Yeah, if desperate, we can fetch an island for the cancel, but we'd have to be very desperate because we really want to drop this worm. I'm going to imp the Pegasus because Masker Worm ostensibly takes out Singer without help. On the 2/2, -2/2, whereas 3 toughness is too big for the worm. I almost like going ahead and doing this. And if they want, because here's the thing, it screams Feat of Resistance or some sort of trick, but it's okay. I want to tap them down below as much counter magic as possible. Now, if they go Feat, they're still going to have possibly Lofty Denial. But this way, I say go ahead and use your resources and your stuff right now to try and save this stuff. So Masker Worm, well, yeah, that's true, but do you not block here, though? Because they're just going to Feat then in response to the Masker Worm anyway. So I'm going to still do this. I hear what you're saying. Gedanmore is worried that it just makes the Singer out of range for dying to the Masker Worm. But as Jim says, that's true regardless. So let's follow through. Right. Fantasia, that's why we were saying, if absolutely desperate, if like, oh my god, we absolutely have to counter that or we lose the game desperate, is when we go to get an island here. I actually am going to fetch now. We do want to get to 8 mana for Ugin, but we don't have Ugin yet. We'll find a couple lands, hopefully, before we find an Ugin, and I would rather thin looking for action here. Looking but not finding. And of course, Masker Worm gets neither of these, but we still say, do your worst. Still take a 6/5 that wrecks an opponent's pretty good if any of their stuff dies, and untapping with cancel will be great. No, actually it was pick 2? Pack 2, pick 1, where pack 1 was almost all blue. Oppo deciding to race the worm makes sense. They're swinging for 4 a turn. Now 6. Their clock is quite good. Waker helps us out there, though. We do have to tap out again. But I think we got to apply the pressure here. This says can't be blocked. So they can do stuff to make it not blockable anyway. And I don't know, we could look at the top 2 and put one of them in our hand and try to find removal for the Enforcer. But this helps us win the race by knocking their clock down a little bit. I maybe have to then Village Rights next turn to find something. I don't know. Yeah, Waker doesn't change their clock. So are we supposed to... But it changes ours. You know, they get a chump, of course. But with the chump, it could change it. We could also Waker and have the cancel. Do the discard of Waker. Yeah, maybe we need to not hard cast the Waker. This is an interesting spot. what we're looking for if we do the activation. We're looking for Grasp of Darkness, for Sky Scanners for just chumping, Finishing Blow, Ugin himself. This is a really tough spot, yeah, but yeah, we're not playing around pump. I mean, it's blue-white. Like, maybe if they have feet or whatever. Yeah, I don't think we get far enough along. All right, let's do it. We're gonna go look for a Finishing Blow. There's an Ugin. Is Ugin enough? But we don't even have, let's see. Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got to take Ugin and hope for land. All right. That's where we're at. In fact, we may Village Rites Massacre Worm at the end of turn just to make sure we find it. So I think we can, though. Seven. Boy, it's coming down to it here. We also need to resolve the Ugin. That is not guaranteed here. And there's a pause. Although, isn't there an ability here? Wait. No. Oh, discard a card. Yeah, they have an activated ability on Pilferer, so we don't know what that pause was. It was probably just a Pilferer thing. And we needed to do that because we didn't find land until the third one down. All right. Did we? Can we? Will we? Yes! All right. -3 works, right? There's nothing they can do to any of these that changes their CMC, so it's not like pumping them stops this from happening. Right? 3, 3, 3, 3. Well, I mean, this is 2, but you know what I mean. 3 or under, 3 under, 3 under, 3 or under. Flash creatures, probably. Honestly, in blue, probably. Yeah, I can go to this view up here, or even here works too. Although, not WotC sponsored. I'm gonna bolt the Enforcer. I'm going to go Scanner over Thallid to continue digging. If we find an untapped land, we can play the Thallid and then also have the cancel. Thanks, Horncall. Yeah, that was tight. All right, and this so we didn't quite get there on the land, but now we have a Finishing Blow into cancel, so feels pretty hard to beat now. With cancel up against non-red. And Oppo agrees. I don't see an emote for that, Haj. All right, started out with a win, with some tough choices to make, but they worked out. Hey, Foil King, we're doing all right. Yes, I did write all of the... Well, not all, if they've added new ones since. At the time I left Wizards, I was responsible for all of the content of the tips and tricks, the loading screen tips. So, yep. This is a keep, but we hope to find some land. Playing swamps in case of imp activation, but we're going to start with one of each anyway. All right, I like an Arcanist here. It threatens to eat the Hobble Fiend nicely. And I suppose we could draw... I don't know what spells we might draw at 3 mana that this helps us cast. Nothing really. Nope. So we could trade an Arcanist for an Arcanist here. Do we like that? Then we find a land and we drop Deathbloom and it still offers a trade. Yeah, I'm okay with this. We're not... if Arcanist was going to help us cast something of relevance coming up, I wouldn't make this block, but I like it. Actually, this is fine. Found our land. That's very nice. We could throw down the Imp, but I'm fine with a Deathbloom Thallid here. Happy to threaten that block. Cardboard Live is working for some. So if it's not you, you might try a refresh or something. All right. No. Let's see. This happened at the beginning of your end step. Yeah, if we played Liliana's Devotee, we don't get the activated ability right now, but I like starting here. Trouble is there are 4 cards, 4 open mana. Devotee might not resolve, but we gotta try something. I'm gonna start here. If this lands, we have some stuff we can do next turn to produce zombies, etc. And if not, all right, we got a counter out of their hand. Yeah, a couple of wizards seems likely. We're gonna stay on D. If they swing away, we'll block Hobble Fiend, but we're not blocking those 1/1s before they become 4/4s or whatever. I mean, if they become 4/4s that aren't blocked, that hurts too, but we don't want to get blown out 0-for-1s. Thank you, keeping it surreal. Appreciate that. It's a word that takes me back. I worked for a place called Surreal Software, 5 years in the aughts. Do we block with anything? I was saying, you could argue to throw a Thallid on one of those, but I still say no blocks. Let him go nuts here for 1 turn and see what we come up with on the draw. Coolio is willing to trade. Looks like it was a good no block in that it actually didn't. All right, you're far off, Ugin, but we'll try. How about Fetid Imp hold up rights / imp activation? I think that's what makes the most sense to me here. Yeah, Village Rights Deathbloom is interesting too. We'll have that for future turns, potentially. I like threatening Imp here. I guess if they got... I mean, I'm not playing around rares. If they Sublime Epiphany us, I'm going to tip the hat and consider that for game 2, but I generally don't play around specific rares unless it's the only way I'm losing. Ugin seems unlikely to land this game, it is true. Stranger things have happened, though. Maybe now I rights the Thallid for more certain land, and we still get a body behind. Doesn't give us the zombie, but I'm thinking we're pretty darn desperate to add to our land count, or we don't really have much way to win this game. So I'm going to do that. Need land. All right, there's a land. Sure, we could attack and sack, but I wanted to do it with the mana I had there at the end of my turn. And I'm going to play a swamp. An island would represent potential cancel, but swamp lets us have grasp and fetid imp, although I need to think about what I'm going to do, because if I'm just going to play a crab, might not need to do that anyway. But I think with the turn coming up, I bet, like, I'm expecting wizardry at end of turn, and I think in response to wizardry, we kill the Dowser. Yeah, Grub would be better than Crab. You're right. I just mean like A4 drop, but you're right. Grub would be better than Crab already, and probably gets better off the mill. Assuming a big crash in here, we're going to throw a Thallid, a Saproling on a 1/1. Although it just gets pumped and eaten. I don't know. Well, maybe not. We'll see. But got to start doing some blocking here. And then hope that our 2 big butts and the removal spell somehow get us to Ugin. Well, that's why Imp's got to go on Hobble Fiend. Or that was the idea. This is the deck I like the Frost Breath in. Do we just die? Maybe. That's kind of what this deck does. I'm going to block a 3/3, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 14, 15, 13 versus 16. Still not going to be enough here. They're too wide, and we're not untapping these, so we're basically dead.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
I don't know if you mean me or Oppo Major, but I don't think there was too much more we could have done here. And Oppo was a little clunky with their approach, but had so much going on that they really didn't need to be not clunky. Maybe we'll get them next time. We still got another game to go here, but yeah, we just don't have the tools. We're dead. We're totally dead. All right, this deck is very good, and we got to figure out how we're defending against it. It's those go wide tokens that are effectively 3/3s that are so hard for us. I'm not seeing much in the side, though. We could bring in a Blood Glutton to try and like maybe a Blood Glutton for even a Kraken. This Kraken's just not going to tap much of importance. You know, tapping down a one of the Goblin tokens doesn't do much, but Blood Glutton coming down a turn earlier and gaining some life could matter. Is Wall doing a better job at early defense than something else? Are you suggesting like a cutting a carrion grub or a crab or a skimmer? Maybe the skimmer needs to go for some extra early D. Like that? Yeah, definitely better on the play, right? Let's try this. Mind Rot could do something. They're recurring a lot, so a lot of times they're going to play a Dowser, get something back, but not be able to cast it. I'm going to say no on Mind Rot, but it's not a ridiculous suggestion. There's also a bad deal, but that seems like a bad deal. All right, we got some early D. I'll take it. Need some land, but we got our early defensive cards, so I'm pretty happy about that. And some rain to feed the late game if we can get to the mid game. I could have just played the corpse, I guess. I'm being fancy and casting my surprise blackguard, but should have probably just played the corpse. Doesn't matter too much, but slight edge to the corpse there. I don't like Imp. Imp will drop when it's going to do some defensive work. I like dropping the power as long as we have it. Play Arcanist knowing that we could rain on without a fourth land, but I'd rather try to find a fourth land naturally and Arcanist Corpse or Arcanist Imp next turn, depending on what they play here and whether we need to be defensive or aggressive. Hobble Fiend. All right, well, we get to attack, take any trades they want to offer, and then Arcanist so we can ensure the rain next turn. Hey, Nutter, mahalo. Thanks for poking in. Show obvious 1/1 wizard tokens is obvious. Unfortunately, we don't even have the opportunity to cancel it. I'm just going to Reign of Revelation after they cast their Goblin Wizards, but I'm not going to attack into them either. I mean, I guess we could send the Sapperling, but I don't want to trade a Blackguard. Well, and actually, Blackguard, if they want to block with 2 wizards, we would pump. So I'll attack. Sure. We know it's wizards, but I'm willing to do this attack because I don't think they want to actually block. The main thing is that we could pump the Blackguard. So if they did the double block, if they do a single block, we get to eat a wizard. If they do a double block, we get to take both. So it was a good attack on both fronts. And here comes the wizards, and then here comes our Reign of Revelation. Maybe I should have main phased it because now if I draw a land, I can't play it. Yeah, but The read was so strong on Wizardry, I should have just main phased this so we could actually play the land. And don't. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to keep all our lands given the where our deck heads in the late game, and I'm going to give up a corpse here, I think. We're now getting, well, corpse could be useful on D, but I think, yeah, we get rid of the corpse. Fetid Imp is more useful. But yeah, it's too bad I didn't main. I should have main phased it. Then we'd have a land out now, and next turn on 5 land, we could even have Fetid Imp with activation and cancel up. That would have been tight. As it is, we can still do it. We play Island, and then we have Arcanist, Island, Dismal for the cancel, and then the remaining 2 swamps can still play the Fetid Imp. And Fetid Imp threatening Death Touch against the Jester is nice. Worried about Frost Breath, though. Fetid Imp is bad against Frost Breath, but we also have the cancel. We might need to cancel if that happens. Trouble is we could cancel it. They still have a good attack, because then we don't have Imp activation. Gadrak. Gadrak. Is that a cancel situation? Probably. It gets pretty good. It's not amazing, but I think it's good enough. And we'll throw a sap in front of the Jester to save 5, I think. Maybe we don't even need to save 5. But it's not doing much else. I think gain 5 life is a pretty good job for that 1/1. Alright, now we get... I like Scanner holding up. Although actually, with a cancel threat, we should probably continue to show 2 if we're not going to play the other Imp, which I'm not right now. We'll just have the 1 Imp threatening activation. And we'll keep digging for our good stuff here. All right, they are deciding not to send, which is good. It means the Imp is... They feel that they don't want to trade the Jester for the Imp, and we have an Imp backup plan, so... Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can even Ugin it. We would like to not draw any more land this game, but we will drop another Imp. And then we still have cancel and 1 Imp activation ready. Maybe I need to actually start trying to get them dead with some attacking in the air of our own. Yep, here's the expected kind of big wizard turn. Scary times ahead. A lot of blocking ahead. Where is our Massacre Worm? Let's massacre this nonsense. Frost Breath incoming. Ah, not quite, not quite. But good enough. I don't think we're dead, but we're close. Maybe we're not. If they don't, well, if they do another spell, that's pretty rough. Which is why you really want to try to combo these with like crash through cantrips and stuff. Imagine if they had crash through opt. Like they lose no card value, card advantage, and would just straight kill us. That being said, we'll let them attack and decide. I think we need to Arcanist block, save 5 here, and maybe rise again and imp to offer more death touch. But if they've got Frost Breath behind, we're just kind of dead. This is a great archetype because of exactly this. There's not much a deck like ours can do when they're turning one card into 2 great threats and then they cast it twice. Like they're just getting wide and making it very tough to win any attrition battles here. So like now we might just be straight dead. Yep. It's the archetype. I mean, it just does this. I got a little greedy and went for an attack and lost the game because of it. But I mean, how do we beat that? Like Razor, at some level, you have to say maybe they don't have it this game. That was rough. I never get that deck. I don't know. Am I misevaluating things? I just feel like I get destroyed by that deck and it never comes my way. Like, never. I'll get my results and stuff, the spreadsheet updated. I don't think we've been in that deck but once, maybe. Pretty easy mulligan there. We'll keep this, and we got Waker and Rise combo. I like... What do we like? I want to send back one of our 2s, and I don't know if the better one is Arcanist or Corpse. I guess Arcanist does a little more and is even as with a bigger butt is ostensibly a little better defender, but it doesn't trade as easily. So yeah, that's true. We can Arcanist, we can Rise on turn 4. That's a reason to do it. Start with a land that must enter tapped. Then if we draw a land naturally, we can save passage for 4. We did not. So now we have a trickier spot. But I think we still go Arcanist or... Well, we can even go Waker. Either one kind of does it. Yeah, we'll go start with Arcanist. Either way, we can Waker next turn and then play the passage if we need to. So I am going to do the Waker thing. Looking for land. Well, not much choice there anyway. Now we even have rights on Arcanist if for some reason they go for killing it. I don't think they will. And we can even attack here. It's not blocking, and we don't need it for the rights. They're not playing blue, or at least we don't expect them to be splashing a Lofty Denial, so we're definitely going to try for it next turn. The old turn 4 Whale. They have a Death Toucher, but Whale actually reduces its power to 0, so that doesn't even work. I'm going to get a second source of blue. We got our 3 black. Not a bad sequence for limited core set. watch the lofty denial. I will just shrug. Okay. They could answer here with the blow, whatever it's called, final blow, finishing blow. Aboo. Sometimes you do the cool thing and they have it all. So I like deploying grub here. It's going to be decently big. And we can save a village rights to have sacrifice mana. I just read this for the first time, apparently. Yeah, hold on. Carry on my wayward son. Honestly, I thought this counted total number of creatures in your graveyard. So, I don't know how deep we are into the format, but I just learned right now. Today I learned what Carrion Grub does. I only have a meme for it. Of course, problem now is Imp handles the grub pretty nicely. We gotta find ourselves a masker worm. It's not a terrible idea, just going ahead and right-sing the Arcanist away and getting some cards here. We're about to get some more cards, though, although they're getting wide enough that that's a concern. Trouble is, Arcanist does help cast Rain, and this is going to help us get cards anyway, and they are playing black. I expect them to have removal. I'm going to be a little bit patient, Herschel, but I hear you, and I think... I'm not certain. You may be right, but I'm going to decline here. And Finishing Blow is interesting. It can get this Imp, and we're at 17. 7/5 can't be killed by 3 and 1. So I actually like... this is why Finishing Blow is not great. I mean, it's removal. It's doing a removal thing right here, although I do want to do it this way. However... we are spending 5 to get rid of 2 mana. So, not the finest hour for 5 mana removal. But we're going to do what we gotta. Scotty, thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate that. Oppo looking to... Alright. So now, at least we get a... It's complicated, but it's like a 3 for 2 or a 0 for 2. Anyway. We can do this. We could just let this trade happen. Let's just let the 2 for 1.5 be a thing. That's fine, right? I'm fine with that. They had to use good cards for it, and we still have our rights for the scanner. And we're going to reload big time. So we're at 17 and about to heavily reload. I like our chances. Got a Thallid of our own. How about Scanner finding us a land, though? Maybe. I can do that now, Jim, because we found land. If we hadn't found land, I would have just done it to dig for land. But we can go ahead and leave rain/village here. $14 against some significant go wide. I could see some buffing happening that could make it awkward, but I think we're all right here still. That'll help. That'll help. Is this good on this board? And Oppo showing no tricks, or they would have attacked with these. A solid addition to the board given the Masker Worm, but Masker Worm still eats a Sage or trades with it if they manage to draw two. Can we... No, I can't do all that. I'm going to go ahead and do this and this. No point in attacking with the Arcanist either. If Sage would have died after a Masker Worm and an Arcanist block, we would have attacked, but Sage still lives. Big boy over here, but it does trade with the worm. Cancel, you're a touch late. Touch late there, cancel. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, as long as part of our casting involves these mana sinks. So how about a Devotee leaving us with 5 mana that we can then use on cancel, or rain if there's nothing to cancel. I like that. Gdanmore likes the Thallid instead. Maybe this is more expendable, and I'm hoping to expend this after we have the Devotee going. Yeah, Sage double block. We're just gonna take the Sage if everything comes at us here. Yeah, this is kind of what I was expecting. We'll just offer the Masker Worm trade here and assume that our Rain of Revelation will get us the card density to get out of this if we can make this trade. We get to rain. Hey, buddy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we need the land. Let's get rid of the skimmer, actually. I think we want, well, maybe Thallid. Yeah, skimmer maybe a little better than the Thallid. I'm going to ditch the Thallid. Yeah, what's my... Yeah, I got 21. I'm good on clock. Thanks, though. Although it's only game 1, so I should keep that in mind for sure. And... yeah, we can tick up and go to face here. That's a good point. I like that. We don't need to clear this board. All right. Sometimes your Ugin gets snapped off by a common. Sometimes. And we just got to take this and hope they don't have... I mean, if they got the giant growth off the top, I'm not playing around that. Haj wants to chump. Haj, they were empty-handed. I am not playing around +4/+4 off the top. I'm just not. How about scanner and skimmer, or do we need to keep cancel up? We still have 8 and 9 mana, so if we have 6, we can go larcenist, scanner, and keep the cancel up. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, scanner first, that's fine. Ooh, grasp. I like it. So now, grasp and cancel. We can actually just not bother with either of these right now and keep cancel and grasp up. I think that's good. Yeah, sorry, you don't need to purchase it. I just owe it to you.
He's a big pig. Yup, yup. You can be a big pig too.
Yeah, we could grasp and make a zombie. Sure, I guess we can do that. I don't like going shields down, but they are empty-handed, so they're going to top deck anyway. We can go shields down for a turn to execute that line and get this Sage out of the way, which is a serious problem for us. And now we have a 3/2 that just threatens to trade straight up with the Snouty. I'm going to send these two, knowing that we have Kraken and I like just Kraken holding up cancel here. But we get both. Blue, colorless for cancel. So we got them both. We got it all. Secret cancel, yep. All right, well, Oppo did a great job. Squelch really did the best they could against 2 devastating plays. And we dropped Ugin and kind of wiped their board with a Massacre Worm, and still we're hanging on for dear life. So I just want to call out Oppo for playing against bombs very well there. And gonna further see green-black, big stuff. A lot of big stuff on the ground in this deck. Does that change anything for us? We could bring in the Blood Glutton on that front, but I don't think that does it. We could bring in the Carrion Grub, now that I understand how it works. Carrion Grub, a second Carrion Grub could be correct with the big boys in the yard. Geist I don't like because it doesn't stop anything except their flyers, and it's weak to snipe. It gives the sniper something to do. Alchemist Gift is interesting, sure. Blood Glutton is being called for. We could do that. I'm thinking the Alchemist Gift is kind of interesting with the Sky Scanners. But what will we cut for that? Yeah, we could do this. Wait, where did I get the 41 from? I'm gonna take the Kraken out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna run this. It's running out. Yeah, I liked the idea of the gift, but I didn't have a cut for it in time, and I had to submit, so too slow for Ryan. Is this too slow for us? Oppo's deck wasn't hyper aggro. I'm going to risk this and keep. Would like to find a 2 or a 3, of course. And if we were against aggro, you know, clear aggro, I would not have kept. There's a 3 we can place. That's cool. Carry on, my wayward grub. Imp is a touch late. Would have been nice to go Imp into Scanner into Skimmer. I'm okay seeing Oppo attacking with a turn 4 Visionary. Rise again. I like Carrion Grub here, and maybe it produces something for us to rise again next turn if we find a land. We'll see how big our Carrion Grub gets. You want the Skimmer? Kind of like just dropping a, you know, setting up this. Skimmer's all well, and I guess we can start drawing with Skimmer, like make him have removal. That's true. Easy Teasy wants the Skimmer. Anybody have opinions? I wanted to get big, but we could... If we play Skimmer, we're telling Oppo they need to kill one of these or the value train starts going. Yeah, Skimmer draws next turn, but Grub locks down the board right now. We play Skimmer, we can't block anything. I'm going to play Grub and be a little more conservative. And I'm not blocking with this, so I'm going to attack. Death Bloom into the yard. Skimmer blocks Visionary if we're willing to put the Skimmer in front of the Visionary, which is I was saying I was not willing to do. Carry on my wayward son. I got a lot of buttons here, Razor. You chill. We can, at instant speed, make our Grub a 4/5 for what that's worth. I don't think that's worth a lot, though. I think now we go ahead and go Skimmer, holding up rights. Now we'll get on with the drawing, if it works out that way. Beefy, but at least it's not anything that necessarily stops this engine. It stops, I mean, it can eat our attackers, so there's that. So it kind of does do the job that Oppo needed to have done here. But now we can drop a Kraken. If they don't have anything for this, we clear the way for Flyers next turn. Let's get Kraken. I like our hand. Hopefully they don't play discard, because I wouldn't want to discard any of this. This is gasoline that's going to get us there. If we can survive. All right, so we made him solve the issue, though. Unfortunate, but look, they had to use a grasp on our Tide Skimmer. It's not even like the core of our strategy.
He's a big pig. Yup, yup. You can be a big pig too.
Finishing blow, sure. And still going to tap the reach creature, though, even though we might kill it. Kind of like attack with scanner, hold back the crew, and just keep our sweet instance up against the non-counterspell deck. With the way triggers work, can you use Kraken to tap a creature before blocks off the card that the skimmer draws? Yes, because the card draw happens right after you declare attackers, and it sees the attackers, but before blockers have been declared. So you draw, then there's a trigger, and you can tap. Ooh, look! Somehow Zach has made a thread. Look! I'm in a thread. How'd you do that? Neat. Zach's like, click the message, you idiots. I'm just guessing that's what you're thinking. Might be what I'd be thinking. Oppo is in the tank here and out of timeouts. I think they're just thinking this is not a dire situation for them. They've got solid stuff going on. So I don't know if I don't know what's up with Oppo here. Hopefully they're okay. Okay, now how do I turn off the ability to thread chat? Wow, okay. Well, we're gonna go rain if they're gonna give us that window. And I'm gonna ditch the land even though we're not at Ugin mana yet. You agree with that? I think so. I'm gonna be greedy. Ugin's like, you called? Hello, I'm ready. Oh, you're not ready, greedy man. Do we even want to do this? What is my plan? Well, I guess now I'm committed. I have to. I've agreed. So we'll do this. Grasp plus rights. I guess we go imp and we have grasp and rights up. But Oppo just might be gone here. I don't know what they're up to. I'm going to say no attacks, though. I know Oppo might not even be here. You say swing away. I didn't like what I was seeing in terms of sending a Kraken in. I should have sent Scanner, though. Sorry. I'm a little distracted by Oppo disconnecting, frankly. Now they're back. I think Ugin's going to get us there, though, again. Ugin again. Now maybe we need to, like, grasp the sniper. What do you want to rights? The scanner? And what do you want to grasp? This, we can grasp the sage and rights the scanner. Although we can't do both. We only have two black. So, but yeah, let's take care of this. Some land. Do we need 7 mana? I'm going to decline now because I actually think I want 7 mana more than... be able to explain why. Because we need Finishing Blow Village Rights. If we keep those up, we actually have the spare. And we can at least tap down the sniper. You'd blow the grub so that after Ugin you can keep your own grub. Fair. We'll think about that. Don't need to do it yet, though. Definitely want to rights this turn, though. We're going to try to drop Ugin next turn. And going to let this happen once, and then we'll use the rights to do it the second time, and that's totally okay. We want them to use their turn on this. Missed a land. Now also got to look at the battlefield, and if we... What are we looking at in terms of attacks here? Because we could just tap 2 and not worry about the blow. I think I like that. If we just tap down their large stuff, I don't think they have attacks. And they don't have attacks anyway. Maybe it's just tap the sniper. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Thallid is correct. But if they attack with Thallid, that would be good for us, you know? Wow, we just can't find our land that I pitched away. Yeah. I wish this was a land now. Still like where things are at here, though. We'll just say no attacks. And I'm even keeping the scanner back. I could have, I guess, because if they want to use the sniper on it, that's fine. And I just want to not die from 19 somehow. Six lands left in the deck with 13 cards to go. We're like 50-50. Yeah, we don't know what they're splashing for. It could just be a half-color temple, you know? People will play a half-color scry land just because. Good, that's the only attacker. We're going to finishing blow it. And save me from my greed and give us a land. Thank you. Decline. Ugin might prompt the scoop, but we're gonna go 4 because we got to get the we got to get their lurker. So unfortunately, we're gonna lose our grub too. Four gets them all right. Just making sure, and leaves us our Kraken. You like 3? You wanna let them have their 3/4, and we have this. That's fair, I suppose. And then we get another grub. Okay.
You are too dangerous to roam free.
Some people like kill all. I went with Hodge's line. And I like even attacking here. That's fine. Just deciding if we needed the D, but at 19, I don't think we do. Maybe they have removal attack Ugin, but Ugin still lives. Imps here are going to be good, but we'll start with Kraken attacking. Maybe we'll do more Amonkhet practice, sure. You like both? Yeah, that's true. We can go both. We have plenty to deploy after here. And now Ugin can just plus to finish off the lurker. And we have imps. What can we rise again? Scanner, skimmer. We'll just grub and imp and have... You don't want to grub? Oh, yeah, we don't want to, like, deck ourselves. Let's go... Devotee Imp. And I'm going to go ahead and pay. We can chump. But yeah, that was too much. And... Dun, 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 dun. Well, Royal Tot, you got to have the early D to make the late Ugin have a chance, right? So, well, we didn't get to 3 wins. This certainly had the potential with Masker Worm and Ugin, but yeah, got Go Wide Goblins consensus, top deck in the format, best deck in the format. Got us, but we got the other 2. We'll claim that prize. And I think let's start with a farewell to the tubers. YouTube friends, thank you for joining us for that one. I know we're tiring a little bit of M21, but it was fun to make some advancements on our collection and get some gems back and have a fun draft. I like that. I like that archetype. It's fun to play, even though it's not necessarily the best archetype in the format. We got some bombs in it, and it was pretty good. Thanks. See you, YouTube.